think the fact that Matt is swimming what we've been rowing for the last 2 days is totally mind-boggling to me. I can't even comprehend it. I would quit after, an hour.
I couldn't even swim from here to that other raft thing without floating on my back.
He's gonna swim straight for 16 hours in this, and it's totally nuts.
He's swimming now.
And maybe something like that, maybe call it a gimmick, but maybe we need some level of human craziness to make people realize. But part of the problem, though, is you look at this and it looks gorgeous. And people are like, well, what's the problem?
Yeah.
But this gorgeous spot is, it's 10 feet lower than it normally is.
Yeah, there should be 8 times more water in this river than there is right now.
The most important thing hereabouts is the Green River, which flows in a deep canyon just a few miles from town. The Green River collects water from Wyoming, Utah, and Colorado. We consider it the headwaters of the Colorado River.
The story of the Green and the Colorado River are the story of the West, really, because the West couldn't exist without these rivers. 40 million people depend upon them for their livelihoods, for water, and for power, for food. And so these rivers are not just for us to sort of look at and enjoy, but water is a divine material. It's a divine spirit that holds all of our stories. In many ways, my history of my life is wrapped up in this river. My wife and I got engaged down here. We found out we were pregnant with our first son, Charlie, down here. 26 year coming down to this place and to these rivers. And so it's been a part of our story, of our family, of our history. And what's really amazing is about the swim tomorrow is that I have a chance to be part of the history of this river. And that's a pretty fun opportunity. So we're just gonna have a blast. This trip has been 4 years in the making. I'm 54 years old and I probably feel the strongest in my life right now. And so, it's what I can do personally to bring awareness about Western water issues and the severe drought we're in. The Green River from here to Mineral Bottom to the confluence of the Colorado River is going to be 52 miles. It should take us about 16 to 17 hours of swimming, moving about 3 miles an hour on average. So once I start swimming at 4:44 at nautical twilight, I'll be swimming nonstop to the confluence.
So we heard yesterday from a Canyonlands National Park ranger that we were at 2,000 CFS yesterday, and today we're lower than that. So we're at an all-time low record for the Green River this morning for this time of year. Never in the history since we've been recording water, it's never been this low.
Here we go. All right, guys. Thank you, Green River. Ready? Woo!
Left, hard left. Go towards Mike now. There you go. He's going to have him following you off that bike.
Okay.
I'm Kristen Moseley. I'm Matt's wife. I'm a water rights attorney. I primarily specialize in Colorado River issues on the upper Colorado River. I know he's very well trained. He's worked very hard. He has the miles in him for sure. I know he can do it. We're under a severe drought, multi-year drought, and a lot of concerns about changing temperatures all over the globe, but in the West, it has impacts directly on water. One of the big challenges from a legal perspective is that it needs to be divided between people and nature and different states and even different countries. Stream flows in the West are really reliant on melt-off from mountain snowpack. The Colorado River starts in the headwaters of Colorado, but it goes all the way to Mexico in its natural state. Due to drought and aridity and the various places it's diverted, it no longer gets to Mexico. The biggest challenge to the river is overusage by humans.
It's 7:45. We're coming up on almost 9 miles. Yeah, we're still on pace at just over 3 miles per hour. Usually we don't get upstream wind until afternoon on most average days. So the fact that we're starting to get it now is maybe not a good sign for the afternoon.
Being in the water for so long and swimming for 15, 16, 17 hours, you really become one with the river and one with the water. You are immersed in it. You become sort of this creature of the water. And I feel like a fish, a human fish, and that I have as much right to be there as any other fish. There's something about this endurance swimming that brings that out that really makes us also really good ambassadors for this river, ambassadors for the water, so that we can also tell its story to other people, so that they may care about it and want to save it. The challenges of swimming in the lowest water, they're real. It's a little frustrating, it's tough. You have to keep moving off, crossing the channel all the time, so it adds a lot of distance and then slows you down. It's tough. I mean, I ran into the rocks, that's how I got up. But we're gonna keep going, keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
So here we are. It should be the time of year where we have one of the largest flows and some of the last remaining wild stretch of river in the Colorado Basin, and we're at record low flows instead. Mighty Colorado, all 4 inches deep. Yeah, so it's almost 7 p.m. We started at just a little bit before 5 a.m. this morning, so we've been out here for a long time, 14 hours, and it's fatiguing the crew, and it's probably getting a little cold too. And when he's in the water, he's swimming and he's creating a lot of heat, but as soon as he gets out of the water and he stops, he's going to be wet and cool and maybe slightly lower body temperature, and then he's not creating all that heat anymore. Careful, there's some rock in here.
I got my teams on too.
So if he goes to the right here and walks the shore, that'll be the way to go. How are you doing?
I'm all right.
You okay?
I'm hurting pretty hard,
Shit.
and I know that there's just some reality setting in too. It's hard. I really don't want to give up.
Yeah.
I know where we are, so I get it.
You know, I've had some swims where things didn't go as planned and stuff, but never to have to say like I'm getting out of the water into the boat. So that was particularly hard. I trained, I prepared, I had the very best team around me. But the flows, I mean, frickin' flows, it was the F word, flows. You know, and we just didn't have the pacing and the extra push that the river would normally have to really get us downriver. When we planned this swim, it was all about being a kind of celebration of the river, and it is. It's about showing the story of why people should care about these places, which made it particularly impactful for me. It was hard, you know. It's hard to see a river really hurting.
What I think is really interesting or challenging is that I've been working on this, trying to tell this story for over a decade. Did a film on this a decade ago about shortage. And we're still talking about it, and it's not, nobody's getting it, and I'm afraid that the only way people will ever get that this shortage is happening is when their taps stop running.
We have the solutions. We know we have to use less water. That's on the agricultural side, that's on the municipal side. We just have to be willing to do it. And we have to have the political will to do it. I mean, it is go time. We are literally kind of looking over the edge of the cliff right now. It is now. It is go time to start putting these solutions in place.